People think court reporting is boring, just sitting behind a little machine, typing what people say. Cold fingers, straight face, click-clack, done. That's what I thought too. I was 25, freshly certified, first real job out of training. Got placed in a district courthouse, so nothing fancy. Theft, custody disputes, DUI cases, routine, until my 6th day. A man was on trial for assault, open and shut, witnesses, timeline, security footage. But when I played back the transcript that night, the one I personally typed in real time, there were extra words. A whole paragraph in the victim's testimony, words she never said. Chilling words, specific, about a basement, about chains, about a second victim no one had ever mentioned. At first I thought it was a glitch. Maybe I blacked out. But the rhythm was still mine. The punctuation was still mine. It sounded like me, but it wasn't me. I took it to the judge. She said, "You must have typed it by mistake." But I remember every keystroke. That line wasn't there. Next week, the courthouse received a tip. They searched the suspect's property again. They found a second body in a basement, chained, right where my mistake had said it would be. And that's when I realized I hadn't transcribed that testimony. I'd channeled it. Court reporting is more than typing. You become a conduit. You absorb everything in that room, rage, grief, lies, desperation, and condense it into perfect words. You don't react, you don't feel, you just record. But the more time you spend in that chair, the more things start to leak. You hear things others don't, see people change, sense when the courtroom tilts. We used to joke about the whisper row, the front seats that always stayed cold, even in July, where defendants refused to sit, where one woman fainted before the trial even started. One time I covered a domestic case, just a restraining order hearing. The woman spoke quietly, nervous, normal. But every time she said her ex's name, the fluorescent lights flickered. I checked with maintenance, no faults, no outages. At the end of her statement, she looked me dead in the eye, not the judge, me, and said, "Don't let them delete it this time." I was shaken, looked down at my transcript. That line wasn't there. She never said it, but I heard it, I typed it, I felt it. Later that night, when I opened the file, the line had returned. In my font, my spacing, just one sentence. Do not forget what she said. And that's the thing. Sometimes the court loses the case, but the transcript remembers. Then came the federal trial. High security, closed courtroom, no public, just legal teams, a single defendant, and me. No audio recording allowed, only my fingers told the story. The case involved a cult leader, accused of ritual abuse, kidnapping, underground movements, classic conspiracy stuff, until he took the stand. He smiled at me. Not at the judge, not at the lawyers, at me. His testimony started normal. Dates, places, denial. Then he leaned forward, looked right at me and said, "What happens when the record becomes the ritual?" My hands froze, but the machine kept typing. I wasn't pressing anything, but words kept appearing. "This is not your trial. This is your transcription, and you have already agreed." Everyone else sat still. No one reacted. I thought I was hallucinating. I unplugged the machine. The screen went black, then flickered back on. Same message, new sentence. "We know your name, recorder." I quit that week, but the files didn't stop. They started showing up in my mailbox, flash drives, printed pages, some redacted, some moving like the text was breathing. And one morning I found a printed transcript in my bedroom, typed in my format, timestamps, headers, but no names. Just the final line. "This is your hearing. It begins now." And the date? Tomorrow. I went to the courthouse on instinct, like something was pulling me back. Same courtroom, same judge. But when I walked in, she didn't recognize me. I wasn't on the roster, no hearing was scheduled. But the room was set, water on the bench, sealed files, fresh nameplate that read, "Record only, do not interrupt." I sat in the back. My fingers itched. I didn't even have my machine. Then the doors opened. A man walked in, the same man from the cult trial. But that case never went to sentencing. He vanished after the trial, vanished from the system. He sat in the defendant's chair, looked right at me, and said nothing. The judge entered, didn't acknowledge him, or me, just stared forward and said, "Begin." That's when I saw it. On the desk in front of me, a stenotype, old, cracked, but working. I didn't touch it, but it began typing. Letters appeared, fast, clean, my rhythm, but not me. I tried to leave. The door didn't open. The lights dimmed. The judge whispered, "Recorders carry the weight." And then silence. The kind that buzzes in your ears. The kind that comes before sound is invented. And the machine kept typing. I don't work anymore. Not in courthouses, not anywhere near a courtroom. But I still type. I wake up to transcripts I don't remember writing. On my desk, on my kitchen table, once on my bathroom mirror, etched in condensation. I tried burning them. They return. I mailed one to a friend. She called me crying, said the document included the last conversation she had with her father, which was never recorded. One day I blacked out for 2 hours, came to with a printed transcript on my lap. No speaker labels, just dialogue between two things that never used words before. And at the bottom, a final note. You are not hearing anymore. You are being heard. I moved cities, changed my name. Didn't help. I heard a trial on the radio, one I never covered. But I could predict every line, every objection, every pause. And I said the verdict out loud before the jury returned. I was right. My neighbor knocked later that day, said, "Hey, I got something weird." She handed me a flash drive. It was left in her mailbox, labeled Next Recorder. She doesn't know what I do. She's never been in court, but somehow she had the next case, and it had my initials. So if you ever find yourself sitting in the back of a courtroom and you get the urge to write something down, even though no one is speaking, don't. If you dream in dialogue, if your fingers move at night, if you wake up with timestamps in your head, it's already too late, because recording isn't passive, it's permission. And when you take down the wrong testimony, the trial becomes yours. Some cases aren't about guilt or innocence. Some cases are rituals, and the real sentence is remembering them forever. I'm not a reporter anymore. I'm a scribe for something older than law, something that doesn't need a gavel, only a witness. And if you're listening to this, you're part of the record now. If this story made your skin crawl, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We keep collecting the stories that were never supposed to be filed. And if you haven't watched What Hides in America's Road Markings, start there. He was just painting highways, then he found a symbol that shouldn't exist. Because sometimes the road leads straight into the courtroom, and there's no verdict, only documentation.